again, everybody. Mark with Grimtastic Baits here, and I'm going to do yet another review of a mold. Just a reminder, this is a no BS review. I do not get paid by any companies. I don't get discounts by companies. I don't have any preferential treatment from companies, and I don't give them any preferential treatment. I just give you an honest, drag-out review so that if you're interested in these molds, you'll know what you're getting into. Today, I am reviewing a big boy. I mean, this is big. It is the Angling AI 7-inch mag core shot AR worm, and it is a beast. In fact, that's going to fall over at any point. I just know it. What we got here is a 3-cavity mold. It's a speed worm essentially. The cost on it, jumped right into it, is $89. Excuse me. Very, very, very good price for what you're getting here. There are similar molds out there, but they are not core shots, so keep that in mind when I go through these. The Bass Tackle 1028 worm is 8 inches, and it is a 4-cavity, and it goes for $169. So you're looking at $42.25 a cavity on that. Just for reference on this, as I knock the core shot sticks out. This one, when you divide it out, 3-cavity at $89 is $29.66 a cavity. That's really, really a good price point. So going back to the Bass Tackle one, 8 inches, a little bit bigger. This is a 7-inch. The other one's an 8-inch. It's $169. That comes out to be, for a 4-cavity, $42.25 a cavity. A little more expensive. You don't get the core shot option. Fat Guy Fishing, they have a 7-inch, what they call their ripple worm. Now it's a higher cavity. It's 5-cavity, and it goes for $198. So, and it's not a core shot. So $198 divided by 5 gives us $39.60 per cavity, so a little more expensive also, but closer. I mean, closer than what we were. And just recently, Epic Bait Molds has put out a smaller than this, a 5.7-inch accelerated worm is what they call it. It's a 3-cavity, just like this, but it's $130, no core shot. So dividing that out by the cavity, you're looking at $43.33 a cavity. And like I say, it gets smaller, does not have the core shot option, which leads to versatility. So when you look at it, this is a steal if you're looking for a big worm, a speed worm. So I'm giving this a cost rating of 10, naturally, because wow, what you're getting for the price is phenomenal. Now look at the design. It is 7 inches long. It's got that AR tail on it. The AR stands for assault rig, is what they call that. 3-cavity core shot. So you do have the ability to basically make some different baits than what other people are able to do. What do I love? I love the fact that you can screw the plates together. Love that option. Other companies need to get on board with that. All in all, though, it is a basic design. It's very similar to the Bass Assassin RSB worm. Pretty basic. It's ribbed. It's got great venting all the way through, as you can see, through the tail, all through here. So, it doesn't have anything real fancy. It's a worm. I'm going to give the design on this a 7. Now, where this bait really shines, if not in the cost, is the versatility of it. Does single shots, duh, naturally. Just shoot the plastic on through, no big deal. It does do duals. So here's my Ronald McDonald example color. You see it does the duals really nicely. Look at how beautiful that blends those two colors into an orange. That is beautiful work. It gets a nice smooth laminate line because it is a symmetrical bait, so it is very easy to get a nice dual out of it. Moving on, we've got the triples. It will do triples quite nicely. If you have a triple injector and you're interested in that, you can see there we got standard test color that I use. Got like a morning dawn into a June bug into that orange color, and it does a great job at that. Blends quite nicely. Then, of course, the one thing that everybody's wanting this thing for core shots. So it does do a beautiful core shot. Now, if you decided you wanted a different tail color, instead of cutting it and doing all that work, doesn't matter how you make this body. If you're just going to change the color, it doesn't have to be translucent or anything like that. Make it whatever solid color you want, but make it a core shot. And then when you shoot it through, you will not see that, but you will still get the color of the tail that you're after. So there's a core shot. A couple other things that you could do. I don't know if you wanted to or not, but if the tail breaks off, you know what? Guess what you got? You got yourself a really thick, wacky worm. I mean, thick. Maybe Nico rig it. I'm not sure, but I mean, that's huge. That's a thick worm. And I think Yamamoto's actually coming out now with a thicker worm, or they've had one out for a while, possibly. So if you wanted, hey, push comes to shove, tail gets torn off, save it, use it as wacky. Another one that I was thinking about, and I don't know if I'm a big fan of this, but I had to try it out just to see, and I'll probably fish with it. I don't know. A really huge, heavy Ned head on basically chopping off the front end of it or the tail of it and making it like a grub type Ned. I mean, you're not going to get any action out of it. There's no real movement to it, but I guess if that's bounced along on the bottom, I don't know. Maybe something to pick that up. I don't know. I'm going to try it anyway. It looks goofy. I don't think it'll do crap, but it's an option. And then, if you thought the 7 inches was too big, just cut it down. Heck, just cut it down to the size you want if you want. If you find out that the fish are biting on something a little smaller and you want a tail that's got huge action and you want to push a lot of water around, here you go with this. I mean, it's another option. So, given that, I think there's a lot of versatility in this bait and what you can do with this mold. So, I'm going to give that a 10. As far as the use on the mold itself when you're shooting it, I shoot it slow and at about 310 degrees with the pressure and topping off the top of the sprue when I do the first shot, not the core but the outside. It can get denting on occasions, which is why you want to hold pressure. I had an example. It's going to make a liar of me. Oh, there it is. I mean, it's not huge, but you can see there's a dent there. It happens. And then it also can bubble on you sometimes. Now, on this one here, you probably can't see it, but right there's bubbles. So that's why I recommend holding pressure and shooting slower. It's not bad, though. I mean, it's rare that happens. So I'm going to say, also, if you're going to shoot cores, once you shoot your first shot, your core shot, I usually do that very fast and hot, right around 340 degrees or so. So this is a mold that a beginner could actually master quite quickly. So because of that, I'm giving the use on this a rating of a 9. Now, as far as appeal, unfortunately for this thing, I see a lot of these come and go on the secondary market. A lot of people post them up, and they will sit there for a couple of days, if not longer, before they actually get snatched up. So there's telling me that it's not a lot of demand. There's not a lot of people that are wanting to hold on to them, possibly. I see them a lot on the secondary. So much so that I thought about getting it off the secondary market, but I ended up, there was a contest or something going on with that, or Angling AI. So I went ahead and purchased it so I could get entered into the contest. Otherwise, I probably would have bought it secondhand. I've seen them sell for as low as $60. So really great price if you want to pick it up secondhand used off one of the Facebook sites or the Facebook groups that are out there. It is a great price considering how big it is, but I think to a lot of people, it's very possible that this worm just may be bigger than they expected, or they think it's too big to fish with. I mean, you have to have some pretty good sized bass, not going to lie, or you might be going after pike with something of that size. It's a full hand's length. So because of that, I am going to give this a rating of 7 as far as the appeal. Wished I could do a little better with it, but it's just my personal opinion. Again, I mean, this stuff is not written in stone or gone through any sort of, I don't know, testing or groups or anything like that. Um, so given that, overall, take all those scores up, those ratings divided by 5, ends up being overall an 8.6, which is a really good price. Or a really, sorry, a really good score. It wouldn't be like me to not mess up over and over in a video, right? So, any hoozles, should you get this? If you have pike and you have very large bass, yeah, this is stellar. I mean, and the thing is, if you use a swim bait blend plastic, these things are durable. I mean, you can get some stretch out of them, and they are tough because they're so thick. That's something else I might mention. Things are extremely thick. Um, Comparison wise, I mean, you just look at that. I mean, I got some fat fingers, so overall, that's pretty impressive. That's a thick, thick worm. But if you have large bass, like I say, pike, something along those lines, I don't do any saltwater fishing, so um, I can't say one way or the other if it's good for redfish or anything along those lines. I'm not sure. But if you're contemplating it, don't contemplate it. Pick it up. $89 brand new. Not a bad price. Pick it up used, even cheaper if it's in good shape. By all means, more power to you. So I hope this review has been helpful. As usual, don't like, don't subscribe. I'm not your dad. I can't tell you what to do. But thanks for watching, and I'll come at you next week with another review. I think we're going to finish off all the prey baits that I have. I only got one left, and we'll get that out of the way, and then we'll move on. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend.